Grumble, grumble.
All right, welcome back to round one, the video series where I openly admit that I am too lazy to film an entire gameplay session and instead just give you a quick hit of some gameplay from a couple rounds. We are back at Oathsworn. We are facing off against the second boss, the Satyr. I think it's Satyr. I don't know. One interesting thing to note, he has a human being strung up on his staff. That's how big he is. In terms of the scale of it, it's a pretty small human being, but it's still a really cool effect because it has a gameplay implications, actually, which is really cool. We got our board all set up here. I've got my wall pieces that I painted, which I am just like inordinately proud of, given that they're just gray. I don't know, I felt like they turned out really good. Not entirely sure where that was. Let's double check that. Yeah, that's good. And we are starting off being ambushed by the boss because of events that happened during the story phase, which I did not film. So when you're ambushed, you basically move straight to the encounter phase and act on the top card of the encounter deck. So draw and resolve the top stage card, turn the next stage card face up. So this card is called Stream of Darklight. The Satyr raises its staff, and the man bound there screams. A stream of dark light vomits forth from his mouth towards you. That is so messed up. Okay, so the first thing he does is he uses his ability Transfix. Draw a hallucination card and give it to the Oathsworn with the least hallucination cards, even if triggered during a reaction. So we go to our handy dandy hallucination deck. You may wonder why everything on this board is painted to some extent, except for the giant awesome boss miniature. And basically it's because you only use them once. Right, so in terms of priority for painting, they are low priority because they don't stick around. They're really cool miniatures, and if I was a dedicated miniature painter, I would be all over them, but I'm kind of not, and so I have to prioritize what I decide to paint. Okay, so basically, because nobody has any hallucinations, we need to randomize who gets this hallucination. So let's see. Yeah, this is a 12-sided dice, so 1 through 4, no, that doesn't work. 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so it is the penitent. Receives the vicious hallucination. Dancing marionette. Your body moves to the satyr's silent tune. You try to resist, but it's so hard not to dance. Draw a black card and attempt to move a number of hexes equal to the number shown in a random direction, spending animus as normal. Oh, interesting. Companions spend animus if they have to move whatever the distance. If you run out of animus during this move, place the highest cooldown card in your hand on cooldown. This triggers battle flow. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay. So, let's do the best spot for that. Kind of tried to redesign the board to get more of the actual cool stuff, the board, onto the screen here. So this actually could be very good because this the satyr is going to move at the end of his turn, and so this might just get him closer, the opponent closer. Or it could be really bad. Dump him off somewhere weird. Cost him some cards. A blank. Ha ha! We did it! So, this basically doesn't do anything. Number hex is equal to a number. Yep. Yeah, this really doesn't do anything. We need to track who has gotten a hallucination. So we just put this card basically. See, this thing is like huge though. I really don't want to put this on the player board. I'm just going to use another die. He's got one. I think that should work. Okay, so that doesn't do anything. Amazing. Next up, target the Oathsworn with the least amount of hallucinations. In case of ties, select the closest. So he's trying to target him for a ranged attack, but because this is really interesting. So I was ambushed because of bad decisions I made during the story part, which is supposed to be detrimental. But in this case, because you turn this card over at the start of gameplay, I knew that he was going to do a ranged attack, and so I placed everybody so that they are not within line of sight. He doesn't have line of sight to her, to him, or, using her handy dandy laser pointer, to him. So this attack basically, he totally biffs this attack. And then he moves 3 southwest. So he moves 3 southwest, going basically 1. How does this actually work? 1, 2, 3. Facing southwest. Man, he's huge. And then we flip over the next card. Hurl. Transfix, move 5 to the target. Attack the target. After the attack, the target suffers knockback 4 in a random direction. They will not collide with the satyr. And then he moves again. Okay, so that brings us around to our turn. And first thing we do is we gain an amount of animus equal to our regen value. Our regen values are all still at their base, so we're getting 7. I'm getting 6. 6. We are getting 6. And we are getting 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And then you rotate all your cards at cooldown position 0 back into your hand, which does not happen. So now we take turns. So right off the bat, I'm seeing he has totally exposed himself to attack from the ranger. And she could attack the flank here, which doesn't have. I really want to attack and knock out these bonus attack positions, because that weakens him for the whole game. So I want to be attacking his front, actually. But I remember that there's a rule about that I need to look up. What about targeting? Which hit point die to damage? Choose the closest hit point die to the attacker. Yeah. So she would need to attack the right flank, which is fine. Let's think here. Do we want to start with her? Or maybe start with the exile, who is going to blast in there and absolutely annihilate this guy. Let's start with him. Since we're only doing a couple rounds here, let's let you see the really cool stuff. Because I have the halberd. Two-handed weapon, polearm, gives me a red might die, or might cube. When you attack, add 1 range to the attack. If the attack is an area of effect attack, instead it targets 5 additional hexes in your front arc at range 2. So he can hit his whole front side, and maybe even his backside, with 1 massive blow from this thing. But he needs an AoE attack to do it, which he has, Reap. So he just wants to get in there and mega reap this guy and annihilate him with this giant AoE. Five additional hexes in your front arc at range 2. So the first thing I gotta do is get him into position. Put this back for now. He's got Line Breaker, charge through 4, attack once and apply to all targets, but I don't think he can get there, nor can he do that and the Reap. It's probably best off just spending Animus to move and then attacking. Ooh, but he can only spend 2 on movement unless he spends some of his additional Animus, which honestly might be worth it. Yeah. Alright, so he's going to start off by spending 2 Animus. 1, 2. I'll spend 2 more on movement, which will get him to here, which is still not close enough. So he has to spend an additional on movement and get right in front of this asshole. Really should be. Then he's going to spend his bonus Animus. This guy is just going straight in like a berserker. He's gonna spend that to get 4 bonus Animus back. 4. Came into this with a lot of bonus Animus. And then he's gonna do this mega blast wave attack. So he's going to spend 4 on Reap. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go into battle flow position 2, and he is going to use his halberd, which also goes into battle position 2. Oh, this is really interesting. Does that mean that it'll battle flow? Need to check real quick if weapons cause battle flow. I believe they do. Items do not cause battle flow. Okay, so no, it doesn't. Add 1 range to the attack, so Oh, if it's an area of effect in tech, instead it targets 5 additional hexes in your front arc at range 2. And it goes into battlefield position 2. So his front arc is, and this is where again it's like really important. Where exactly is this guy? He's kind of in between spaces right now. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because he can go 1, 2, 1. Maybe it does something there. He's got an extra animus, so he'll move here. And then he's hitting 1, 2. He's hitting 1, 2, and 1, 2. So he's hitting these 3 arcs right in front of him. These 3 spots right in front of him. Okay. Now he gets a red die. He has a redraw token. So he's gonna roll 4. Whew, man, that's dangerous. But if it lands, I could half kill this guy with 1 shot. I'm going for it. Okay. So he'll have to spend his redraw token. Okay. Redraw token spent. And he is hitting for 3, 5, 6, 7. Satyr has a defensive 3. So he's doing 2 damage to that entire side of him, basically. So, boop. Boop. And boop. Could have been better, but that's a pretty good attack. I can live with that. And he's completely done. But man, he did bonk the hell out of this guy. So now the ranger's going to go because now this flank is damaged, and she might be able to do a lot more damage to it. Her bow has a range of 4. I can spend an animus to add 2 range to the attack for each animus spent. Let's see if we need to do that. Long shot has +2 range. Add 1 damage to this attack for each hex of range it takes to reach the target beyond range 4. So this would do an extra damage if she fires it from where she is, and if she moved back, it would do an extra 2 damage. I think she will spend. Let's think about the order of operations here. This costs 4. She would need to spend 1 to move. That's 5 of her 7. Oh, interesting. She's got quick shot, which costs 1 animus, move 2. Attack must target minion. I'm just trying to think about how I can get multiple attacks off with her. So she's got 7. Long shot costs 4. This attack only costs 2. I want to say she has one that only costs 1, too, or she did. Oh, it's a long shot. So that's not particularly helpful. So, but the problem is she needs to be back to hit with long shot, and she needs to be forward to hit with any other shot. So I think she's just gonna go for the easy blast. She'll move back one. She's hitting right here. She'll spend 4 on long shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want to make sure too that he didn't trigger any kind of special once per encounter. You reach all your cards. If you draw critical during an attack that hits, gain unanimous now. That didn't trigger. Alright, so she is doing long shot, which goes at position 1. It's doing 2 damage by default, which means it really needs to hit. So I don't know that she's going to go too crazy. Let's just roll 3 dice. Wow. Holy crap. Holy crap! Ah. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 damage. He's got 3 defense. That's 2.5. You round down. So it's another 2 damage, but there's 2 damage on top of that. So she actually blows away this position. And he immediately triggers his reaction, which I need to remind myself how that works. Yeah, breaking a location. If Hit Boy dies, removed, is broken. Check the encounter special rules. See if the encounter lost damage. Oh, stage 2 is triggered when the center loses 2 dice. Okay, so that hasn't happened yet. Whether or not the stage changes, draw and resolve the top card of the stage deck with the character who and broke the location as the target. Yeah. This targeting overrides any targeting rules on the encounter board. Okay, so now he activates Hurl. On her. So he turns. How dare you? Transfix. Hallucination card and give it to the Oathsworn with the least. So it goes to her. It's so beautiful. How could you want to attack something so beautiful, so majestic, so perfect? Keep this card until the end of round phase of the next round. Any attacks you make against the satyr will miss on only 1 blank rather than 2. At the end of the round phase of the next round, discard this card. This game is really freaking cool. This is a really cool mechanic. This really mixes it up. So she gets transfixed. Now he's going to move straight towards her. Again, there's a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. Destroys this tree. Attacks the target. I don't quite remember what all these symbols mean on the attack, though. Does it mean... Oh, it means that he's attacking with his flank. And not the one that I already destroyed. Attacks with his flank. So he gets 2 might, or 2 red and 2 yellow. Shuffle these bad boys up. point, I'm going to want to see if I have any mitigation. I've got a lot of defense tokens, that definitely helps, but I don't want to waste those. She still has 2 animus left, so she may be able to dodge it or something. Can't quite remember. 2. I'll tell you, you can tell that this game is really well designed and surprisingly streamlined, because I still basically remember how to play it, and I haven't played it in a couple weeks. And I am not the guy who remembers this stuff. I am the guy who forgets it all and has to redo it, relearn it, basically. So I'm just really over the moon with this game. It's such a cool game. Let's see what she can do. Before an enemy selects a target, you can't be the primary target of any enemy this phase while you are adjacent to a tree. Okay, that's not true. After a non-adjacent... Okay, that doesn't work. But of course we can play some of these for their defense value. Playing a 1 would be ideal because it would get me long shot back. But it's only going to give me 1 extra defense, which puts me up to 3, and that's a pretty powerful attack. I'm going to play Child of the Forest and get 3 additional. So she's up to 5 defense now. Wow. 10 damage, 5 defense. That means she takes 2 damage. If I spend just 1 of these, then she only takes 1 damage, which I'll do. So she takes 1 damage. Down, 2, 4. But he also knocks back in a random direction, but they will not collide with the satyr. So we need a random direction die. Northwest. Will not collide with the satyr. So to my mind, that means she wouldn't move at all, because to throw her over there, she would collide with him. And again, I got to be very specific about exactly what spot he's in. This is more what I had in mind. So I think she won't move. And then he moves 3 northeast. So he books it that way. So exposing your flank, how many? 1, 2, 3. Okay. That could have been a lot worse. Now we know what the next one is, Stream of Darklight again. Which is fortuitous because that's imminently dodgeable. You can play around with LOS, hopefully. Okay. Wow, a die down on the first round. Impressive. She still has 2 animus too. And now she can hit him, ironically. So she will do Disarming Shot. Attack costs 2, which will battle flow this over to here. And she gets a ranged attack on 2, 3. I'm gonna go for his rear. He's behind. Spending 2 animus. She rolls. She'll roll 4. Oh my god. The tension. You can't make this stuff up. Whoo! 5 divided by 3. She does 1 damage to his butthole. Not a bad start. There's a lot of damage on him already. Alright. Next up we've got the Penitent. The Penitent has Mother's Revenge, a weapon that he got from the rat mother, the brood mother. You can see it gives him a yellow might, and it gives him a conal ranged attack. Gains no additional damage for targeting extra hexes on a large character. This attack gains no additional damage. Okay, so I guess this actually only hits, it only hits 1 spot on large characters. Lame. Okay, but he is right lined up on her behind, so let's see. Yeah, he's got sweep as well, which is another big area of effect. He's going to do that. He's going to move. Yeah, that's fine. So he will spend 2 to move 1, 2, 2 to move 1. To make sure that, yeah, see, that won't do it. Can't hit all 3, but he can hit the back, the rear, and that side. He'll move there, spending 4, which requires one of its bonus animals. So back, and then he spends 1. Token tray works surprisingly well for as kind of flimsy as it is. I don't mind seeing him beef it up in the future. She gets a die for hallucination. Okay. 3 adjacent hexes in your front arc. If you kill any enemies, then move 2. I don't know what's wrong with that. It goes into cooldown position too. Put these on their side. Take a little less room. Okay. So he gets a yellow. Weapon really adds anything else. He's gonna roll. Let's do it big. Let's see what we can get done here. Does he have that? He has a reroll. Well, that was disappointing given the risk. 4. 1, 2, so 5, but only 1 damage to those 2 locations, which does still knock down his Heine to 4, and then it would be, yeah, this side goes down to 5. We're playing very aggressively here, and I like it. Okay, Finally, we've got the priest. Priest. I think the priest is going to focus on healing her, actually, more than anything else. He's got lay on hands. Perform a basic check with 1 free redraw. Difficulty check is equal to the character's health plus 2. But he also has just heavy blow. One adjacent character gains 1 and you lose 1, so this will definitely trigger, and it doesn't have a cooldown. So he's going to move. He'll need to move 3. 1, 2, 3. He's going to use heavy blow for 0 animus to give her a health. Then he's got 3 animus left, which I don't know that there's really much he can do with that. Yeah, so he doesn't have enough to use Pillar and Path, which is an attack that gives him a reroll or a defense die, or defense token. He can do Righteous Advance, but let's see, what's this guy going to do again? Stream of Dark Light. Target the Oathsworn with the least amount of hallucinations. So what he actually needs to do... That won't help. Okay, yeah. This guy's going to do a chain attack with a range of 2, meaning that he'll hit multiple people. So what he wants to do is just move some more. Basically, 1, 2, 3, so that at least he doesn't chain to anybody. And that's it for the heroes. Coming back to the sect here, who has already somehow managed to get 3 attacks off. He's doing Stream of Dark Light again. So he's transfixing. Draw a hallucination card and give it to the Oathsworn with the least hallucination cards, even if triggered during a reaction. If tied, choose the furthest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where the fuck is it? 2, 3, 4. So it's another tie. Oathsworn resolves the card effects and then keeps the hallucination card to mark how many hallucinations they have had. Yeah, so one thing I screwed up is I suppose he should have gotten that hallucination earlier. It didn't end up doing anything. But I can fix that real quick. Which means he would target the priest. So he turns around. You rat bastards. Transfixes the priest. The hallucination. Horrifying scream. A blood-curdling scream fills the air. You look around for the source and realize it came from you. Draw 2 new hallucinations and give them to the 2 nearest Oathsworn to you. These are resolved immediately in any order you choose. Okay. That sucks. Draw 2 new hallucinations and give them that a 2 nearest are sworn. Okay. And that doesn't, he's still doing his stream of dark light. So the penitent gets this primal rage. Oh, it's on. Do not spend animus on this action. You snap, move into range, and attack the closest character, friend, or enemy using 5 cards, including your might. This attack cannot miss or critical, and the victim must play a defense card as usual. Cannot use... I don't know what that means. Victim may play a defense card if it's a hero. You cannot use interrupts to help the victim of this attack. Afterwards, place your highest cooldown card on cooldown. This triggers battle flow. Okay, so that's actually not bad because he is the closest enemy. So he's attacking with 5 dice. So he gets, and it can't miss. So he's probably going to do some damage here. This is a really cool, unique fight. I really, really like this game. It makes me really glad that I didn't... Like, I've always been interested in Kingdom Death Monster, and maybe someday, you know, but this scratches my boss battler itch real nice. Okay, so he just does... he does 1 damage to his front, so which goes down to 3. Still, that's a shitload of damage that we've done to him already. And now he has gotten a hallucination. The next one is targeting the Aldari, or whatever she's called, the Ranger. Piggyback. You remember how fun piggybacks are. Why don't we do this anymore? Whee! Do not spend animus on this action. The closest friendly character to you must spend 2 animus if possible. 1 if it's a companion or ally. Can't spend it. They then suffer knockback 2 in a random direction. Then place yourself in the closest empty hex near to them. Okay, so gets knocked back in a random direction. I love the direction die. Northeast, second order. I need to look up knockback real quick. I'm struggling to understand how he could be knocked back behind the guy. Page 30. Target character suffers knockback. Move them directly away in a straight line from the source of the knockback. A number of hexes indicated on the effect. If the knockback is caused by a large character, the source of the knockback is the core hex of the character. So it says in a random direction. So northeast, he throws him 1, 2 to here. Then place yourself in the closest empty hex next to them. Okay. Piggyback. That's cool. And finally he does his actual attack. So he's attacking from his right flank, range 6. Definitely gonna hit. Not gonna chain. So he's drawing 2 red and 2 yellow. My man has 3 defense by default. He does have this card Fend, which costs 0 animus. After you or an adjacent friendly character has damage drawn against them, ignore one of the enemy's might cards, your choice. Okay, so I think he's going to play that. Need to cool down 0. Cool down 3. Okay, well, we'll definitely be ignoring that. So he ignores the critical. 3, 6, 7. Defensive 3, that would be 2 damage, but he will spend one of his defense to give himself a defensive 4, meaning he takes 1 damage. Pretty pathetic, really. Mr. Big Bad set here. Then he moves southeast. Okay, so. And just want to make sure. No, okay. That's cool. So the different versions of Stream of Darklight have a different direction that they'll move in. He moves like this. We draw his next card. Backhand. A large clawed hand backhands you through the air. Interesting. Okay, and that is it for our round, basically. We got the encounter, revolve, turn the next stage card. Yep, really nothing going on in the end of round phase. So I hope you enjoyed that. This game is really, really cool. If you can get your hands on it, if you can participate in the upcoming reprint Kickstarter, I think the value is there because almost everything about it is incredible, high production value, and it plays really smoothly for a game with miniatures and bosses with pretty, bitchin' mechanics like casting crazy hallucinations and whatnot. So that's all I had for today. I will talk to you later.